What did you think about the strategic timing, the timing of Johnny Depp?
The only thing I wish they would have, answered the messages. He seemed caught on those messages, and I think his team could have helped him out quite a bit. A lot of people are pointing out now that when you look at them, there's a lot of questionable things about said messages. So I think if his team would have, like I said, I don't feel like they threw him any rope. I felt like he got stuck on that. Besides that, him drawing on the pictures that weren't available before, saying, hey, this is where it happened. This is how I lost my finger. She was right there. Here's evidence. I thought that was actually, it was a good visual illustration. I didn't think he got beat down too badly on, Rottenborn was you could tell he was trying time management. You could see it, but
he was seething.
Yeah. I just thought,
his pettiness came through.
It did. Just those texts right there. It's the one thing I don't think
everybody is screaming about the incoming thing. Everybody is screaming about that.
Oh, I know, man. When I saw that, I actually accidentally deleted my first post on it. But right after, somebody sent it like right when it was up, and they were like, "Yo, this is backwards." And I was like, "Holy shit, that is!" So I don't know. I fired off some messages. I don't know. I don't know what good that does. If any good can be done after the fact, if that can be brought up in any way. But
well, I mean, I know Amber's team will see it, but whether or not it comes up at other points, because at this point it's in evidence. So
yeah,
the only
thing
thing
brought up to anybody that needs it, I'll say it that way. And
I think that. And put it this way, it could come up on closing, and they could just put up something like, we don't even know who sent those messages, if they're reliable, who they're coming from, whether they were sent going in or going out. They can mention that on closing, because
did you catch where that other part they brought up, the quote that they brought up of about him. I would let's see, how did that read? Give me 1 second.
Sure.
It was if I'm angry and I've got to lash out and hit somebody, I'm going to do it. And I don't care what the repercussions are. They brought that part up. Well, that was kind of, I didn't realize, I don't know, it just didn't sink in on me that was an article from 1995 that they were quoting.
Amazing.
Yeah, 27 years old. And
come on.
Yeah, here it is, actually.
I was glued to your Twitter all day. I couldn't believe that. That was incredible.
Here, I'll pull that up real fast. I again, better minds than mine find this stuff, but that's the article.
Throwback. Look at that. Look at that, man.
1990s,
that is a
man.
Throwback.
Jeez,
look at that font.
Hey, I like the crown.
Look at the font. That's what you go for.
No, but that style of font, they don't even use that font anymore. Right. Like it's true. Like
this is gone anyway. Like Premiere is out, but the quote. They took a little bit, they took some liberty because there was a little piece removed, but it was actually talking about the hotel incident where it gets destroyed. But he said, I thought it was funny. I had to go to jail for assaulting a picture frame or a lamp. The rag said, well, he must be drunk and he's having a huge fight with his girlfriend. Complete bullshit. So, I mean, they left all that part out there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So they made it sound like, hey, he's talking about, beating women and stuff. And no.
Yeah, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, I mean, that shows you a little desperation there, though.
So wrong.
Speaking of desperation, how about those other two? How about just the content of the text? I mean, the Molly's pussy and then the pleading mackerel. I mean, I laughed at the pleading mackerel.
I liked it. That was funny myself.
I laughed. Yeah.
Okay, good. We can all admit we laughed at that, right? We didn't feel bad about it because it was so stupid.
I've never sexualized a mackerel, but also, I mean,
and it wasn't even Johnny.
I mean, are we to the point though that we confuse that with sexual assault? Is that where we are?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're desperate for a $50 million claim, Tug, I guess.
I'm just wondering, societally, are we to the point where we confuse that? That's my question.
Yeah.
That's an inflection point. When we get to the point where sexual assault is just sexual language and talking about sexual stuff now becomes sexual assault, right? Where these that we're getting these word crimes, right? These words can trigger me. Words are damage. Words are hate. Words are, this end of free speech, which is something that we've been covering. I've been covering religiously. I doggedly, and I know a lot of other people cover it in your own way. Christina, I know you've talked about similar things, and Valiant, in a way, you're addressing these by tackling and going after some of these corporations, especially that try to silence free speech. Even here, TMZ, I said it on Nick's channel, and I think the best way to say it is they were trying to use a First Amendment protection, a speech protection, as the form of gag order. They were essentially trying to assert the fact that they could silence somebody because he used to work for them. That's insane that they even would try to do that, to try to assert that. And it's an aberration to our Constitution, to the First Amendment, what our intended protections are.
But I think it showed those that they didn't want that cut out, did they?
They did not.
Christina, I don't know if I think we were here the other night. We were talking about this. I know Andrew and I did, because I think I brought up the question. I said, I figured the only way around this was if they had him under an NDA that extended beyond his employment relationship, because I know, every state has their own laws versus, non-competition, non-compete laws. I know here in Louisiana, some of the most strict in the country. NDA is kind of the same thing, but apparently they didn't even argue the NDA point. There was no NDA. I mean, they didn't get there. I mean, even a judge brought that up today and said, well, look, if this is an issue with an NDA, then that's beyond the scope of this trial. That's your problem to go litigate, not mine. So piss off. It was like, I mean, that's what I figured. I'm like, but nobody brought that up. And I thought it was, and the oh shit face on Amber's little junior douchebag attorney who makes his subpoena.
Hey, are you on 60K?
Oh,
hey, are
my
you at 60K,
God.
by the way? Hey, are you at 60K?
Hold on. Let me check. Ah, 60K!
Yeah!
Hey, it's 11 a.m., but
Thank you,
let's
Tug.
pick it out. Hey,
Yeah,
cheers, guys. You guys, I'll tap some soju for you. This is the Tug. Christina, thank you so much for being
while I
the
still got a few people, I'm trying to point
chat.
it at any channel I can. So
thank you, Tug. No, seriously, I do.
That was very cute.
Christina, thank you. Valiant, thank you for being ride or die with me the last couple of days, even though as your children are growing older, you are sticking around. I appreciate that. And Tug, you're a gentleman and a scholar, and I look forward to collaborating with you on other topics too in the future, because it's this crazy nexus of pop culture, law, and what's going on in the world. And I think the reason why this became big, and I actually just clipped that, I don't know if it's released yet, but one of the clips I made was, Tug, you explaining how this moment became big. I think that's so important. Like seeing ahead and predicting that this is a nexus of all these issues in the culture war and, the battle and the gender dynamics that is going to come to a head in the future. And we're going to have more situations like this. They're not going to be the same players. It won't be Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, thankfully, but other similar incidents will crop up in the future.
I heard a weird thing today. I heard somebody told me, they said, well, you think about it in chapters. You had the UK 2020, that's chapter 1. You have this as chapter 2. And they said, well, what if I told you there was a chapter 3? It's like, holy, really? What chapter? I don't know. But it was
Perjury is a chapter 3 if that goes there.
I have no idea, but
possible.
I was like, well. Interesting.
Well, we got 2 more years of YouTube content in that case. So, God.
I'm curious about the Manson case. I really am. There are some huge irregularities. Well, there's just some problem. There's 2 accusers in there. Of course, Evan Rachel Wood, but this other lady, Elma Gore, I think her name is. Well,
Elma.
Her claim to fame was drawing, let's say, the orange man with a tiny Cheeto. That was her.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, after their claim to fame dropped, she did 2 things. First of all, she said, I got assaulted by Trump supporters, and she got more headlines, right? Well, when it died down, guess what she did? I got assaulted by Trump supporters, and the claims, they were bizarre. Anybody that does that kind of thing for clout, and it's so questionable.
Creepy.
Yeah, it makes you ask questions. So
yeah. But I mean, they're doing it though. I mean, they are doing it for clout. I mean, it is something that you see in this, and I think the part of this trial has just been the story of clout chasing, right? I mean, You see it, and you got to watch out for it. And I even heard that one of the jury members, when they heard Johnny talking about how it was, difficult to keep people around him, and the struggles of people who are wealthy, having these clout chasers come after them, they sympathized. It seems like that juror may actually be pretty affluent and may get that, right? May get that there are toxic people in your life that come in, especially when you have stuff to try to leech off of you.
That's right.
So yes. Oh yeah, I appreciate the soju emojis in the chat, guys. So for the members, you've got the soju emoji. What else did I have here? Is there anything you're looking forward to today, Tug? Like coming prospectively today?
I'm just curious. I want to see them take apart the counterclaim. I really want to, because there's nothing there. I mean, it is. If she wins that counterclaim, I will be shocked because I can't. She hasn't proven anything with it at all.
There's no way. I think the counterclaim was a waste of time. I think wasting time, focusing the defense on that, focusing to attack on that. I think it was spurious, and it shows her temperamentality. The fact that she tried to just counterclaim for twice, and it just shows
amazing.
But it's consistent. It's on brand with Amber Heard. It's on brand.
I mean, when she obsesses like with a YouTube channel. I mean, these people have been obsessed. People treat it like a conspiracy forever. I was like, this woman is trying to take down my YouTube channel. And you're like, yeah, right. Look how many times it came up in court. I mean, they brought it up on the biggest stage they could. They should know better because hell, my Twitter blew up to over 104,000 people so far, but they can't stop themselves because they are obsessed. And
they have no control. They have no control over it, and they literally have let it run off the rails because they've not stopped themselves from and said, "Hey, this is too much. This is a bridge too far. This is a line we shouldn't cross." To them, there really is no line. Like there's no barrier or boundary that they shouldn't cross or shouldn't go towards in order to get their goals, because they say, hey, we have an agenda, we have a goal, and we want to accomplish that. Hey, we have this message, and we're willing to co-write this. I think that's very problematic.
There's an awesome story that not many people know about. So there was actually a witness that there was a witness for the UK that won't testify in this because of the issues there, but she actually turned against Amber Heard. She turned against her very publicly, and then let's just say she was working for somebody that didn't behoove her, and they said, go make up. Amber Heard screwed her over publicly, recorded her, threw her under the bus in the UK. So she came back out and denounced Amber Heard again. I mean, it's one of her friend circle did that. So
I'm not surprised at all, because once she uses them up, she spits them out.
Yep.
Exactly.
By the way, Tug, I want to get your opinion because we didn't get this in. I showed this earlier with Christina, but I feel like for that one text message, we should have gotten this entered into evidence as a counterbalance to the statement. This photo right here. This one with the fucking psychopath writing.
Yep.
And the I need it, I want it. That should have been entered into evidence, because I guarantee you this psycho shit comes into evidence. R.I.P. that claim. And the fact that the fact that he was responding to a text. So if you get sent a salacious, and it's this photo with a bunch of other nudes, right? You get sent that and then you respond with something, it's different than you just sending it in, right?
Exactly.
Sending into a void. That's totally different, right? Are you literally going to Exactly. Are you going to shame people for sexting, wives and husbands for sexting each other? It's
right?
Okay, you need the rule of completeness, which is a rule of evidence. You're supposed to admit everything. And to me, I'm rule of completeness. You got to let that in. You got to let that one in.
And it's so creepy. Her handwriting, her little message there. I'm going to eat you alive.
Eat you up.
Actually, those two texts that they brought in that people have been talking about, I don't understand how they're applicable in this case at all. I don't get it, because if you look at the dates on them, they're from 2017. Those everybody's focusing on the incoming. Okay, well, I was focusing on the timestamp. They're from 2/22/2017. So how do they matter at all in this?
They haven't seemed to be too concerned about continuity up to this point, so I don't know what's going to change now.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, what, this is after the relationship totally. Again, I get what they're trying to prove with it, but if this pushes someone over the edge for a rape claim, we are doomed. We are all doomed.
Yeah, it's over at that point, right?
That's shameful.
Like RIP, it's done.